Okay, viewers, welcome to another exciting show from Ebit Media. And today we'll be talking on food and fashion. Food and fashion. Food and fashion. I get that's most interesting, right? Very interesting. So, with me here, I have a wonderful guest. Like, they are wonderful. They are really wonderful. So, I will let them introduce themselves actually. So, please, can we know you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Favour Olebube, a medical student in University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. So I deal on foods
Yeah.
and fashion and many other interesting things about me.
Okay, over to you, ma.
I'm Princess Chibuzo Enyagam, a graduate of mathematics from Delta State University, and also a fashion designer. I love fabrics. I love my scissors. Forget that.
Okay, guys. Um, what do you think about fashion, food and fashion? Can we have your opinion on food and fashion? What do you guys think?
Okay. When we're talking about food,
Yeah.
this is something we can't do without. Honestly speaking, you and I know that food is a necessity. And when we also talk about fashion,
Yeah.
there's no way you're going to say you're going to go without clothes. Just like we're sitting down here now. You're dressed, I'm dressed. I'm very sure you've eaten, right? And I've eaten. That's just it. So these two things are not things we're going to do without. Two of them are actually needed. They are the basic amenities. Thank you. So I think that these two things are very essential.
The
They are
essential.
needed,
Yeah.
yes. And then when I want to talk about these two things, I think the two of them have to do with creativity. Because that's just the truth. You know that in your house, you have your own way of preparing your own dish. In my own house, I have my own way of preparing my dish. And it's all boils down on how creative you are. No, your creative ability helps you to put recipes, different recipes together,
Yeah.
and then you, before you know what's happening, you're getting a dish. Just the same way, also it is for a fashion designer. At times like this, I can just see a fabric and then I pick my tape, I pick my scissors. I don't even know what to make out of that cloth, but I
At the end
tend
of
to
the day,
like immediately I pick it, I tend to think of something, and before you know what's happening, boom, a dress is out, and the outcome of it is something you
wow,
love.
wow, that's really interesting. That's interesting. And my favor, do you have any idea?
You're talking about the basic amenities. I just realized that they are actually very important things.
Okay.
And in food and fashion is something that is always on the trend. It's always evolving. Today you see this kind of food, the next day you're seeing another kind of food.
Yeah.
Today you're seeing this kind of dressing, the next day you're seeing a beautiful kind of dressing, the next day it's there are two things that can be like similar in trending.
Yeah.
They're always trending. New things coming up each day. It's evolving, and it's actually a very basic amenity.
Wow. That's a nice one. Nice one. Nice one. So, with this food and fashion of a team, do you think food affects fashion or fashion affects food? If they do, how do they affect each other? Can you?
Okay. Okay, I think they both affect each other. Like we're talking about, they both affect each other. Like now, okay, for example, you see a person, you see a food, a certain kind of food cannot be served in a certain kind of events. Like, okay, taking for an example now, let's talk about traditional weddings, where we go for all these traditional weddings. You don't see, I hardly see, I don't know if you see, but I hardly see them serve stuff like, cereals or spaghetti, all these things. If you see an Igbo traditional wedding, now what you see now is like an eba or pounded yam with like all this egusi soup or
Salad soup.
yeah, or something like that. And then for the Yorubas now in their traditional weddings,
Yeah,
you know,
amala, yeah.
you see all this kind of herbal, yes, and you see that they wear their attires, they come up with their fashion. You hardly see them come up with the normal, English dresses
casual
that people
wear.
wear and come up with this eba or ewedu and all these kind of things. So I think fashion really affects food and food affects fashion. Yeah.
So from this discussion we've had now, and I now see the sense in it that food really does affect fashion. You get, due to the weddings you just explained now, and that's very interesting. It's very interesting. So we're moving on to the next
Okay, I
question.
have another thing to talk about concerning that also. You know, looking at like how food affects fashion.
Yeah.
You know, all these kind of people that are obese, or people that have pot belly, those kind of people. You know, the common cause of obesity is not eating well, not having a very good diet,
Yeah.
and all these pot belly people that, people that have pot belly that maybe take care or do not eat well. So food has a way of affecting fashion because this kind of people now, they struggle with the kind of dresses they can wear. They struggle with the kind of, they go to their tailors and they're like, do me this style, this elegant style. And then the tailor is like, oh, this might not fit your body statue. This might fit your body statue and stuff like that. So I think food affects fashion, and fashion too affects food.
In that case, that's where you see people saying, "What I ordered,
That's
so
what
what
I
I
got.
bought."
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, so food and fashion are both influenced by cultural diversity. So how does culture shape culinary choices and fashion preferences?
Okay, when we're talking about cultural diversity, we're in a nation where we have different ethnic groups, different cultures, and all that, and you cannot expect an Igbo man to be eating a wedu
Yeah,
like
that's
a Yoruba person.
yeah.
I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. And also, when you see an Igbo man, his dress sense is different. You see him with his ishaku, you see him with his red cap, and
It's
if you
artistic, definitely.
if you
Yeah.
see a Yoruba man, you see him with his abada complete outfit, and that's just it's different culture. The same way they have, it
Different food,
affects
yeah.
their dressing. It also affects the kind of dish
Yeah.
they make. So when you see them, that's why if you go to a Yoruba party, you see that their dressing is quite different. Their shebi, you see them with their shoke and the rest of it. And
Yeah.
the kind of dish you're not going to be expecting, let's say a starch and owo in a Yoruba wedding. I don't know if you
Or
get what
white
I'm trying to
soup,
say.
or white
Yes,
soup,
or salad soup
yeah.
in a
Yes,
Yoruba
salad,
wedding. So also the dressing also, you can't expect them to be tying that kind of gele that you see an Igbo woman tying. I don't know if you get. You see them with their shoke and all that. So in as much as we have different ethnic groups, so also their preferences when it comes to clothing, when it comes to food,
Yeah.
is also different.
Okay, so I've been wanting to ask this question ever since, but I think this is the right opportunity to do that. Why do you think this is not normally served? It's not always served in weddings. Like I've rarely seen in an occasion or in an occasion where this is served during weddings. Why do you think that? Do you have anything to say about that? Why beans is not normally served in an occasion? They mostly do rice and the rest.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have seen just one, so it's a rare kind of thing that happens. There's this thing that people feel like the appearance of a food determines the place that food goes to.
Yeah. Okay, there's this interesting question I've always wanted to ask. Like in fact, I was always looking for an occasion to ask it, and I think this is the best place to ask that. Why do you think beef is not normally served on occasion? I don't know. Like I've gone to several occasions where I will pray for them to just give us beans. Yeah, like no, in my house I cook rice daily. I think that's like the only kind of food I can cook. Jollof rice, just to put the ingredients inside and just whatever concoction you're out and you're eating, right? But beans is something I don't normally have time to start picking beans and the rest, and it's really stressful and boring. But rice is something I eat daily. You go to any restaurant and you just eat rice, order for rice, you get. But beans is something that I've always like anticipate or like wanting to see in an occasion, you get. there are different ways of preparing beans. I don't know. Why do you think beans is not normally served in an occasion? It's really like I'm bothered actually. So I just want to know, be clear on something.
Alright, okay. I've actually seen, I've gone for a wedding where they serve beans, but that's just one. So
Okay.
it's actually rare. It's actually rare. So I actually think this has to do with the appearance of the food and our background. You know how we were brought up. We were brought up in such a way that we don't eat beans every day at home. Beans is like, it has this feeling. I mean, even as a child, eating beans is like everybody's always running away from beans because of the way our parents brought us up. It looks like the food they want to use in punishing us. You have to eat beans or something like that. And then the appearance of the food also. Rice has this catchy appearance,
Definitely,
and stuff
definitely.
like that. So I think it has to do with the appearance and the like we are talking about fashion and food. Now it has to do with the design of the food, how it looks, what is presentable. Beans has this kind of look, though it's very nutritious, and I think it's even more nutritious than even the rice.
Definitely.
Yes, but it has this kind of look that I don't know. It looks like
awkward look or something.
it looks like you can even mistake a beans for like a
Ah,
or
no,
something
no,
like
no,
that.
no.
So you can actually mistake it for that. So it has this appearance that doesn't look catchy and fine, but you can actually still serve it in weddings. Yes,
talk about
very
fashion
nice.
too. Like
yes.
there's a way you prepare the
Yeah,
beans of
there's a
garnish.
way,
Like it's really like it's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Definitely.
Like this wedding I went for,
Yeah.
the way they served it, it wasn't looking like the normal, it wasn't looking so ugly and stuff like that. They actually served it so nice. Like, I mean, when you look at it, you are actually going to like crave for it, you want to take more of it. And the beans is actually very, very nice. It actually tastes good. It's just that a lot of persons disqualify it from the appearance, but it's something we can actually start trying. We can actually start trying out serving beans in weddings. It's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
We can design it in such a way that people will like it. You can put all these vegetables on it. And
just even plantain, just fry plantain and just garnish it a little.
Yeah.
Oh, I love beans. Actually, this is actually my favorite.
I love beans.
It's my favorite
also.
food actually.
So.
That's why I really want to sit in occasions. Like we'll go and I will eat beans, good beans, good beans. There are some beans that punish people, but good beans, you get. My friend says, do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, concerning that, like we were talking about these beans, rice has become like, if we take on the average, more people eat rice than beans. So in occasions, when it's not just you involved now eating food, you still have to put other people in consideration. Because since we have a larger number of people eating rice than beans, when you prepare it, you'll be like, you're not just preparing it for yourself now, you're preparing it for your guests. So you wouldn't know if the quantity, like the number of people, okay, let me use that, the number of people coming to your occasion loves rice than beans. I don't know if you're getting the point now. So when you prepare beans and then they come and see, they'll be like, what is this? And just like Miss Favour said also, that we can still try it. There's no harm in trying. That's just the truth. I think one of my girlfriends, they had one occasion and they prepared beans in that occasion.
Invite me next time, please.
They prepared beans in that occasion and she was like, do you know that beans finished even before the rice they served?
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was it. I was like, are you for real? Like, it's not something that is common. I believe that's why it has not come to a balance also. But if we can be having let's say occasions where there are different dishes, and then at least we'll watch what's going on, how people are accepting it, I think that would be a good one to know.
I also think that it has to do with also the kind of ways. How many kind of ways can you prepare this thing? Rice now, you have rice and stew, you have jollof rice, you have fried rice, you have coconut rice, you have every kind of rice. But usually beans, we have not really, gotten new ways of preparing beans. We just have the porridge beans, then beans and stew.
Yes.
Some people use beans and yam, beans and plantain, but it actually almost tastes the same. Funny enough.
Even
So
Yoruba, they use eba to eat like
yes,
garri
yes.
drinking, something like that.
yeah, okay, the
Yeah.
drinking of the
Yeah,
garri,
yeah.
okay. But you see, eating rice, jollof rice, it actually tastes different from
Eating
fried rice.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of varieties when it comes to the rice
Yeah.
than the beans. So I think we can put in more fashion into the beans. It's going to actually, it might help. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really that's the one of the key focus or the key idea of our rice location. I think that's very good. But I would love to see beings in location. The rise of social media has transformed how we share food and fashion experiences. So the question is, how do you think social media platform has influenced these industries? I don't know if you have any. Are there positives or negative ways they influence these industries? Okay, so can we get your view on that?
I would say a lot of people would say they don't know how to cook and the likes of it. But the truth remains that social media has really helped. It has helped in a lot of ways. When you go out there on social media, you see different people cooking different dishes, you see different ways of cooking it, different ingredients and the likes. And then you still hear somebody in this generation saying, I don't know how to cook. Please, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they answer such questions. And I would say for me, in my own field, social media have really helped me like a whole lot. I wouldn't lie. It has helped me a whole lot. I go out there on YouTube, there are even different social media mediums. I go out there and I'll see people with coming up with different styles, different designs, and when I look at these people ahead of me and their designs, there's something that I would want to learn from. I don't know if you get my point.
Yeah.
I would like to learn from them, and I keep following these people, keep following them, and trying out new things because these people come up with different designs, but then you just remaining stagnant. Fashion and food, like we said, that they are trends. Like each of them, with each passing day, different styles are coming out,
Yeah.
different ways of making dishes are coming out, and when you follow these people online, social media, you see a lot of them. So many of them come up with unique designs, and you're like, wow, so something like this can come out of this, and before you know what's happening, you learn one or two things from them. So I wouldn't say it is not good. And we all know it is certain that everything that has advantage
Actually,
also has disadvantage. Some of them, when you try them out, I actually heard a friend of mine, I was discussing with a friend of mine, and she was like, when she visits her friend, and then after watching these videos online, they go out there to buy these same things and they end up cooking rubbish. And is it funny enough? Two of them will still eat it and be happy that at least they tried out something new, tried out something new. But I would say a lot of them are out there bringing up different ideas and all that. But it's left for us now to filter it, get the good one, the one that is okay for us, and make good use of them, and also improve, add our own to it. So I would say it is both positive and negative. Negative in the sense that different people will be coming up with different ideas. You see somebody telling you to put 10 Maggi inside. So you have to use your senses now. When you finish eating it, before the next thing you just visiting the toilet, you and the toilet will be like, I can't sit. I don't think to get the point. Even as you listen to them, you learn from them, you also learn to also filter some of those things. So I would say it is both positively and negative. And nobody would use, my mother did not tell me, my mother did not teach me, my mother did not, I did not see, all those kind of a thing. I was not opportune to grow up with my parents, so then even the people I grew up with, they allow me cook and all that. You can go out, learn, get these things and learn before you do it 1, 2, 3 times. You've
You start it,
mastered the art. So
No, this thing is something like I've had experiences with this too.
okay.
Like me, naturally, I don't go to the kitchen to
Yeah.
watch my mom cook, so I don't really know how to cook. So there are times I will like, this thing I don't know how to cook is really bad. Let me try something. I go on YouTube and I start watching videos. But even with the videos, I just end up cooking bomb. Like it's really alarming. But I think I'm I'll get better actually.
Yeah,
Because
just
the
like
process,
the saying,
yeah,
practice
I'll get
makes
better.
perfect.
Yeah, I'll get better.
Yes.
I'll get better.
Keep
Too.
practicing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any light to share
Yeah, I
with us.
think that is one of the negatives I actually wanted to talk about. The pressure that social media puts back on us, the people that watch, that actually go on YouTube. It looks so beautiful from the camera, every single thing. It looks like this thing I can do this. So it puts a lot of pressure because most of these people actually use expensive things.
And they have secret ingredients too, like something they will not show you.
Yes, and it's actually subjective because you actually cannot taste the food because there's something about the appearance and also the taste. The appearance can be good, but when you taste it, is it actually nice? Is it actually good? Stuff like that. But we can never taste these things. So it puts a lot of pressure on people watching this thing. It's okay, but this is one of the negatives. And it makes people want to outstretch themselves because you can actually just stay in your house and actually do a nice, simple thing and design a nice, good looking food with the little amount you have. But social media actually gives you a lot of pressure that you want to look for the exact ingredients these people are using. You feel like, okay, you can use star maggi, for example, to do what you want to do, but they tell you they use no, and no is more expensive than maggi. So it puts a lot of pressure on you. So you want to get that one that they are actually getting, which is not actually good. But another good side of it is that, like she said, you can use wisdom. Another good side is that you can actually do whatever you want to do. You can actually, just go and say, I want to cook rice and moi moi, or rice and this, or you can do any single thing and any single thing. There is nothing you cannot find on YouTube these days. Just go, I want to do like this video now we are doing. You just search, I want to do this, and you find it. So it's actually so good.
That's interesting. I've had this experience too. I try things. I try new things. That's my nature actually. I just like learning and trying new things. So there's a time I wanted to bake. What was that I wanted to bake? I think it was more like, I don't know if it's pancake or something. But I know I remember that I wanted to bake something. So I went on YouTube. So I was like, okay, how do we make ingredients or recipes to make pancake? And the recipes I was getting, the ingredients or more like, let's this one in Nigeria we go. It's really like, when do you expect me to go and get this ingredient? So I was like, it's like this thing let me just look for something else to do because I was discouraged. Actually, I felt bad that I was not able to achieve what I wanted to achieve. So I think it's a negative influence.
I think another positive thing is that it actually makes us want to do better.
Yes.
Yeah, because talking about the cake, going online, you see people do beautiful things. You see people do beautiful cakes. You see, oh wow, this looks so beautiful. It makes you want to step up your game because you won't want to remain. Like we said that these things are always evolving. Trends are, today you're seeing this kind of cake, you're seeing this kind of food, the next day you're seeing this kind of food. So, seeing these things on social media helps us know the level and the trend that we are in now. Because, things change, things evolve. You cannot be cooking what what people have been eating in the 90s. You cannot be cooking it now. So social media gives us that advantage, to be able to see what is happening now and how to step up our game.
So viewers, I heard eating pounded yam in the morning, that's swallow. As we all know, swallow in the morning, it's not really nice, not appropriate. So I don't know. But okay, we have a specialist here so we can ask. So eating pounded yam in the morning, does it have any side effect or any disadvantage, or how do you see it in general? Pounded yam in the morning.
You mean swallow?
Yeah, swallow. Yeah, definitely swallow.
Okay, personally, it doesn't have any effect. I don't think it has any, side effects.
Side effect, okay.
I think actually it's the other way around. Eating it in the night before you sleep. If you feel like that is what you have that morning to eat, it doesn't. I don't think it has any disadvantage because especially if you're going to work that day, you are going out. The issue here is eating it and being less active. Because the issue with eating all these kinds of food is that when you eat heavy foods like this and you are not active, you don't, try to exercise or walk normal day or go to work, try to, increase the metabolic rate of your body. These things, they do not digest well and they store fat. So they do not make the fat burn. It's just like putting a fat. When you put a fat under a hot frying pan, what does it do? It melts. Thank you. So if you eat all this kind of food and you do not, exercise, not really active exercise, but do active things. And these active things, makes us sweat, it brings heat out of our body, so it burns all those kind of things. So it's there's no disadvantage in eating swallow in the morning because some specialists advise that you even eat your most heavy food in quotes in the morning, so that as you go about your normal day's activities, you burn all these things and then you keep the light food for night, like tea and all those kind of things.
But what I heard is actually the other way around. They said you should take breakfast. That the breakfast is maybe tea and maybe a cup of tea with 2 slices of bread. Those kind of light breakfast in the morning. Then in the afternoon, that's when you can eat your heavy food. Then night, take light food again, something like that. I don't know, but like back in the days, my dad used to he likes eating swallow in the morning, and he had pot belly. So I don't know if that was the cause of the pot belly or something, but I don't know. Can you just
Okay. I think I get what you're saying. A lot of persons feel like this thing makes them sleep. It makes them weak. It makes them, because it's a lot of things you're putting inside of your body, so you actually feel heavy and stuff like that. So some persons feel like, oh no, I don't want to take this in the morning, it's going to affect my daily activities, I don't want to sleep at work, which is quite fine. But where I'm going to hold it for them is when they now keep it till 7 or 9 to eat. It's okay if you can take it. In our country, in our environment, mostly take a bath, all these kind of things in the afternoon. So it's also okay. But concerning your dad having pot belly for eating, pounded yam in the morning, I don't think it can be related to that. First of all, it might be genetic. Secondly, it might be lack of exercise. Maybe he eats it and I don't know. Sorry to say, but just sits down at home, doesn't do so much, it doesn't help that way. It doesn't work that way.
I don't know if you have anything to say about
concerning that pot belly as well, like you mentioned, just like you said, some of them are genetic, and some of them also are the food we eat. Then stress also is another part of it. Stress, when you're always stressed up, it also tends to give you pot belly. Then some of them are due to hormones. The hormones in the body also is another factor also that contributes to this pot belly of the day. And just like I think Mr. Favour said it all, that eating heavy food at night, it's not advisable at all, because you're just going to end up storing those fats. They're not going to digest, nothing to aid the digestion to make it faster. So when you take, like you said, taking light food in the morning, it's not bad. I think I even advise it because you're trying to break your fast. It's more like there are some people when they eat heavy food in the morning, they get hungry. They get hungry as well. That's another ideology. Another ideology I hear or I've heard of. So that's another thing. And then taking that light food, at that point in time, I feel the body has been at rest. I'm not into the medical field. But for me, I think the body has been at rest for some time.
Yeah.
Because during your sleep, and though it's working, oh, but at that point in time, you're not doing something so
So,
strong,
yeah. So,
and and then you trying to now waking these worms with heavy food and all that. So I just feel taking something light at that point in time is also good, so that at least it prepares them
yeah.
for the main
Yeah,
meal.
fish, yeah.
Yeah, for the main meal. So that's just like a welcoming meal. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, that's really nice. That's really nice. So, food and health implications now. So, do we have anything to say about how food affect our health? Like, food affects our health definitely. So, can we get an insight of the positive and the negative part of how food affect our health?
Yeah, of course. Of course, food affects our health.
Yeah.
It actually affects our health. Like we started with, food is like a very basic amenity. Like it is needed for growth in our body.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
yeah. So there's this thing about food. The way it can affect is, okay, if you overeat, you undereat, or you're not focusing on the quality of the food you are eating, so
Yeah.
it will affect your health. Let's talk about the overeating now, for instance. But people that do not monitor their diet and the calories they take in, you see that most of them come down with obesity. So it actually affects your health, and not just the obesity. Many of these people you see that are obese are actually struggling with other conditions.
Yeah.
They can come down with diabetes.
Yeah, yeah.
They can also come down with heart issues,
Yeah.
because food has a way, one way or the other, to affect. It has a way of affecting our health. Okay, let's talk about the undernourished people now.
Yeah.
You say you're not eating well. You're not eating enough food. You're not even focusing on the quality of the food.
Yeah.
There's what we call the nutrients and the vitamins, that the micronutrients in our food. These things now, lack of these things can affect the major things we see in our body, like our bones, our eyes, all these kind of things. So food actually has a lot to do with our health. Like it has a lot, it has a whole lot.
Okay, I don't know if you have anything to say. But talking about those people that do 70 days fasting, like, how do you, what do you have to say about that? Because that's really scary, actually. 70 days, like, you just go on
70
70 days like this. Oh, this is what I really trying to do. But do you have anything to say about that? Any insight or any? Yes, let's talk.
Alright. Okay, personally, talking
Yeah.
from, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe in fasting.
Yeah.
I actually do believe in fasting. So I'm not going to say that people that fast, as far as you have your convictions and you know that, okay, this is what God has called you to do,
Yeah.
fast. But talking about long fast with no goal, and maybe without water and all those kind of things, I do.
Oh, wow, my ears are full right now, and I'm sure my listeners too. They've really gained a lot. So, what do you have to advise people listening to you on fashion and food? What do you think about that?
Okay. Fashion and food, like we've been talking about, they are both beautiful things.
Yeah.
They are both beautiful things. So I will just want to talk about the moderation and where it comes in. But there's beauty in simplicity and in moderation. Like when we talked about the food, eating so much causes a lot of issues. Eating less causes a lot of issues. So even in fashion, I don't know if you've seen all this kind of fashion where, especially in the makeup part of the fashion, where they do a lot of makeup and paintings and it doesn't turn out nice. But when you do it in the moderate way, I think it has a lot of beauty in its simplicity. So I would just want to advise my viewers to just follow their pockets, take it easy.
Yeah.
It's not actually expensive to eat a balanced food and wear a good clothing or fashion and have a good fashion sense. It's actually not so expensive. I think what you need is just wisdom, the knowledge, then the wisdom, and then you need the discipline to be able to put it, like especially for the food aspect. You need discipline to be able to be living, eating balanced,
Yeah,
and then you
live
need
a
the
healthy life,
discipline
yeah.
to be also able to be, thinking about, okay, this fashion, how do I do it here? What do I do here? How do I put in this dress? How do I mix this with this and this? So I think that's what I have to say.
Okay, Miss Favour, do you have Miss Princess, do you have anything to say about it?
Okay, let me pick it from what Miss Favour said concerning the food.
Yeah.
That you don't need a lot of money to eat a balanced meal. You can eat a balanced meal from even the little money you have
Yeah.
in your pocket. It's just for you to know the different nutrients that needed to make that food a balanced diet, and then go for it. Then also when it comes to fashion as well, you don't need a whole lot of money. You don't need to wear the most expensive clothes
Yeah.
for you to look presentable. Like they say, dress the way you want to be addressed. You see a whole lot of people go out there in the name of fashion, and then they're all naked. You see somebody buying a lace of 50,000 naira, all to end up being naked. That's not what fashion is about. Fashion is about what you can, when you put this on, let people see. Yes, let people see the beauty in it.
Beauty and decency.
Yes, let people see the beauty in it. And then aside that too, you should be able to know that when you put on a cloth, okay, know what works for you. Because a particular dress that will suit me might not be the same dress that's going to suit her.
Yeah.
Each and every one of us will have our body fit. Know your body fit and go for what fits you. And another part is the color blend. Very, very, very important. The color blend is very important. There are colors that fits a dark person, and there are colors that fits a light person. So when you know what fits your body, you know the kind of color that suits you also, it makes you look wow. And also, like we said, you don't need to break a bank for you to look good. Please, it is very, very important to look good. Don't say because I don't have money, then I cannot dress. That's a lie, a very big lie. That is not true. With your little money, you can look presentable, and then you can also be able to attract. Because like they say, it is whatever you put on, those things, both the food you eat, the clothes you put on, they tend to attract certain kind of people also to you. So always be out there, look out there for what suits you, not just because so person is wearing it, this celebrity is wearing this cloth, therefore I must wear it. No, that's not it. Be creative about the whole thing. Put in your creativity in it.
Step up your game.
Yes, step up the game. And even in the course of meal and dishes, try new dishes. Try new ingredients. Try them, put them together before you know what's happening. You come up with something great. I think that's all I got to say.
That's a whole lot. I think it's really an advice for the viewers. That's really good. It's a nice one. So you've heard them, and I got the point from them, and I'll relate it again. You don't need too much to eat good food, and you don't need too much money to dress decently. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below for more content.